Hello, I'm Jerome Thompson. I'm with Lions Clubs International and here to talk with you for just a few minutes about our Lions Quest program. There's so many needs among our youth. In the next few minutes, let's talk about some of those needs. Let's talk about a solution for reaching and empowering some of our most at-risk students and how that we can develop a coalition of caring adults to come together to assist our youth in finding greater success. Every 45 seconds, a child or a teen is arrested somewhere in the United States. 700,000 of our youth will stand before a judge this year and be adjudicated based upon a decision that they made, which may not have been the best decision that they could have made. Every 2 minutes, a child is placed into foster care. Most of those children are moved in plastic bags from local department stores from their home to a foster home. And these decisions generally are not made by the child, but rather they are the victim of some decisions that have been made by their parents or their adult caregiver. Every 24 hours, 14,206 public school students are suspended across the United States. And when they return to school, most of them will return or at least transition through an alternative school. And gun violence is the leading cause of death, ages 1 through 19, overtaking automobile accidents in the last couple of years. This is why that we must begin now to make a difference in the lives of a child. And I know because you're watching this video that you are very concerned about the children in your community. I know because have been a member of Lions Clubs International for the last 33 years that the Lions around the world are passionate about reaching out and serving the unmet needs of some of our most at-risk children. And of course, we've got our juvenile courts who struggle with a concept of how do we rehabilitate and punish, and what is the balance? I'm here to share with you what I think that we can do to change the lives and improve the quality of lives of the children in our community, as well as everyone else in our community. Children who experience adverse childhood experiences have traumatic events that have caused them to lose self-esteem, have elevated their likelihood to be depressed. These childhood experiences may be in the form of abuse, emotional, physical, or sexual, may be in the form of neglect, emotional neglect or physical neglect, but it also could be just the household challenges, domestic violence in the home, substance abuse in the home, mental illness in the home, parents who are separating or divorced, parents who are incarcerated. And when a child encounters 4 or more of these adverse childhood experiences and that they aren't treated correctly, then they're 14 times more likely to commit or attempt to commit suicide. They're 4.5 times more likely to be depressed. And when a child has encountered 6 or more of these ACEs, they shorten their life expectancy by 20 years. And 1/8 of our population have had more than 4 ACEs. You see, we as caring adults who are passionate about our children have to begin to address the adverse childhood experiences and help children to move from where they are to where that they need to be. Adverse childhood experiences impact brain development. They trigger traumatic responses to internal and external stimuli. And often I say that those who've been bullied will always remember that they've been bullied and will always remember who they've been bullied by. And sometimes I've been in the Walmart and turned down an aisle and I've looked to the other end and I've recognized that individual who did not treat me fairly when I was a child, and I immediately bristle and have to decide, am I going to meet them head on in the aisle, or am I just going to turn around and shop in another aisle? And I suspect that everyone that is listening tonight has a similar experience. And then we gain the self-esteem, we gain the self-confidence and the skills necessary to no longer have that bristled effect, but rather to meet the challenges of life head on. And if our children are going to address their adverse childhood experiences and grow beyond them, it's going to take both clinical and non-clinical intervention. And the Lions Club and the Lions Quest program is non-clinical intervention, providing the skills that youth need to find greater success. It also brings together the home, the school, the community, a coalition of anti-drug preventive people, as well as the juvenile justice system. And you see, we're going to be talking about building a team and building a vision, building a plan, and building success in your community. That team is going to consist of the judicial system, Lions Clubs International, and your coalition of caring adults in your community. A vision for how that we bring resources to your community and to the most at-risk children in your community. A plan of who is going to deliver the services, how we're going to deliver them, and the outcomes that we anticipate. And when we follow that plan, we communicate effectively, we're going to build success within your community using our Lions Quest program. What is Lions Quest? Lions Quest is a social emotional learning program. And those at-risk students who complete the 16-week high school curriculum are going to learn about self-managing, managing their emotions and their behaviors to achieve their goals. In one of the classes that I attended, one young man said it finally clicked. He now knew that he could have any feeling he wanted, he could have any emotion he wanted, but he had to watch his triggers so that it didn't adversely affect his behavior. To me, that was a win. Self-awareness and recognizing one's emotions and their values, as well as one's strengths and challenges. Another class I attended, when we asked the students to write down their best qualities, one young man says, I don't know about my best qualities, but I can tell you all my bad qualities. My mother reminds me of them daily. It's that kind of struggle that our at-risk children have. And we, as caring adults, can provide hope. We can provide hope to the hopeless. We're going to talk about responsible decision-making with the students. We're going to talk about what a healthy relationship looks like and what a toxic relationship looks like, and how to avoid or to get out of those toxic relationships. We're going to talk about social awareness, understanding others and having empathy for others, and how that when all of this comes together, we're a better person. We're better equipped to find greater success, but we're also able then to extend a helping hand to someone else, just as Lions Clubs International through Lions Quest and your group of caring individuals in your community, in your court, are going to extend a helping hand to some of our most at-risk children. And so what youth practice during Lions Quest, they're going to build a healthy relationship in the community and among peers. They're going to learn what those healthy relationships look like. They're going to increase their connectiveness to their schools and caring adults, because we're going to have community leaders that are facilitating discussions with these young people, and they're going to connect with some of those community leaders, and they're going to begin to be mentored by some of those community leaders. And together, we're going to break a cycle of poverty, a cycle of crime, a cycle of despair. We're going to help children choose conflict resolution over aggression. And when they choose conflict resolution over aggression, then gun crimes will go down. And we're going to find lower rates of substance use and truancy. Are we going to eliminate those two? We're not. But we are going to reduce that. Lions Quest is an evidence-based program, and we're going to show you some of the results that we're finding across several different programs. The lessons to be discussed: clarifying your value and growth opportunities, self-respect, exploring people's emotions, stressed out, and what to do about it. Such a powerful lesson that would be good for all adults, but it is so powerful for our at-risk children who are struggling with school, struggling with being on probation, struggling with things at home. And so we're helping them to learn how to deal with stress, communicating what, when, how, why, and how, so that they learn how to communicate politely with their parents, with their teachers, with the court, with community leaders. Just one lesson that is so powerful. We're going to talk about healthy and unhealthy friendships, conflicts solved. We're going to talk about bullying, the bullied, and the bystander, and what the responsibility of each of those groups of people are to help us to eliminate bullying in our community. We're going to talk about the unhealthy results of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. We're going to talk about decision-making styles. We're going to talk about that outside peer pressure and how to handle it. We're going to talk about modeling a healthy lifestyle and reflecting on learning and more. We've got more lessons. There's a total of 16 lessons. And in 16 weeks, we are going to make a difference. In my community, we've just started the second cycle of 16-week lessons. One young man who's a musician come to the first class and said absolutely nothing. But we're in the fourth class now, and today, as we're beginning to talk about stress, he begins to talk, and he begins to share, and he has some of the greatest insight as to how to handle stress, how to relieve stress. And he brought such a great value to the community and to the class because he knew that we was investing in him, that it was a safe space, and that together we can improve our quality of life. The PACE Center for Girls is in Florida. And before Lions Quest, 78% of the girls that started the course was failing one or more classes. 18% previously involved with the juvenile justice system. 58% had been suspended or expelled from school. After we completed the program, 90% improved academically. In the first class in my community, one young man who had failed the 11th grade was making up his 11th grade work and doing his 12th grade work to still graduate on time. His grades went from 70s to low 90s. Why? Because he saw the benefit of finding greater success. And we provided him through these lessons some life skills, which helped him with his self-esteem and his self-confidence. 91% of these girls were not involved with the juvenile justice system over a year after the intervention. 18% before, 9% after 1 year. 58% was suspended or expelled, and 74% remained in school, in college, or was employed after 1 year of completing the Lions Quest course. As you can see, that would be 26% was still being suspended or expelled, but that's a great improvement from 58%. And so these are the results and the evidence of the success of Lions Quest. The Lions Quest program, where it brings together the Lions and family and schools and community engagement, and you can take the parts and put them together as you would like to do that. As long as the lessons are taught in the same sequence, there's a common person who is involved. You can have other outside guests to facilitate the discussions, and we're still going to be evidence-based and see great results. Where they're going to be, the Lions Quest material is going to be made available to you and the Lions Club and the judicial system as we're beginning to build this program. But we're not going to stop and just deliver digitally the books to you. We're going to have some Lions Quest training where we're going to train the facilitators how to present the material, how to use the material, and what the outcomes look like. And finally, there's a service learning component. And so as we finish, all of our students will understand that they have a responsibility to give back to the community that has now invested in them. Our program is evidence-based, recommended by CASEL. Operation Engage, which is part of the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, we partner with them. We partner with the Novo Foundation and SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration. You can see that there's a great group of agencies that are all like-minded and want to help our at-risk children as we move forward. At this time, there's any questions, and you can send your questions if you watch this via video to lqchangeslives@gmail.com. LQ changes with an S, lives with an S at gmail.com. Thank you so very much for participating this evening. Thank you for watching the video. And we want to bring Lions Clubs International, Lions Quest to your community, and we need your help. Thank you so very much.